Yes, hello and welcome to At the Movies. I am Bob Old Person, and joining me is...
Bob Other Old Person.
Bob Old Person. We've been to the movies lately. We've seen Venom 2, Carnage Venom.
That movie, absolute rubbish. Absolute toss.
So bad.
The highest form of trash.
My eyes falling out of my head. I tell you what, the real carnage was me in the bathroom after the movie, because the movie made me just feel so bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. They used modern effects and CGI. Unbelievable.
Another new movie we saw is Halloween Kills. I tell you what, the violence was just ungodly. So much sex and violence. I tell you what, my eyes were burning.
Oh, absolutely. I felt my eyeballs go into my stomach and dissolve in my acidy bowels.
Dude, complete trash. I tell you what, complete trash. We went and saw the new Dune. I tell you what, so much CGI.
Absolute toss, absolute rubbish. I mean, what even is space? I don't understand.
We're gonna cut to our reporter in the field, Bob Old Person. Bob Old Person, what have you been up to?
Nothing good has happened. Nothing at all has been coming out. We've got the new James Bond movie with James Bond number 345 in the series.
Oh, yes.
You'd think by now he would have realized that he can probably retire. No Time to Die. Well, I had plenty in the movie.
I tell you what, I do agree.
More like 0000 is the score I gave it.
Oh, that was a good one. Bob Old Person.
Malignant. That's the tumor that I grew watching that movie.
Tell you what, Malignant, so much blood. It was trying to be inspired by agenda. I tell you what, it was more inspired by a piece of poo.
Whoa. Got him.
Toilet humor. I love a good bit of toilet humor.
I did really like the Adam Driver musical, though.
Oh yes, that was good.
Annette, that was
Oh yes, yep.
So many bad new movies. We're going to talk about an old movie instead. We're going to talk about The Wings of Desire.
Oh yes.
Classic.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
I don't really have a punchline for this bit, so...
Well, as long as the punchline isn't that we think that only films from 1987 are good and no new films have come out.
Of course it is.
Because there have been some good new films that have come out recently. So this is just a bit.
I do want to say I really enjoyed Malignant. I thought it was great, and I'm very excited for Dune, and fuck Venom 2. Anyway.
Whoa! What's wrong with Venom 2? Wow.
There's a lot wrong with Venom 2. Welcome to Oldie But a Goodie. It's the podcast where we talk about movies from 1987 in the order they came out in, and this was the last chance we're probably going to get to do a movie like this for a year, so I took it. Wings of Desire.
Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Sandro, your name is Zach.
Yep.
And joining us from across the city. What?
Across the airwaves.
I'm probably like smack bang in the middle of you two, I think.
Actually, you are.
Yeah.
Zach's like in the deep south of Melbourne.
I am.
In the deep north, and Sandra is in...
Don't dox me. What the heck?
Sorry, and Sandra is in at northwest.
Yes.
Well, I say that sounds about the accurate. Yep.
Now, you came in last episode at something we did not plan, where I just randomly called you out when you were in the middle of work.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't actually in the middle of work. I was having a picnic, but anyway.
Oh, wow.
And you were like, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and so we were like, we'll get you on the episode, and here you are.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking some time off your scheduled programming to indulge me.
We gotta get the old Ben in here, you know. He's
Old Ben.
The old Ben?
Yeah, the new one sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one's the TikTok Ben, and he's a little wild. He's a little crazy. I don't know if we want him on the show.
Tell you what, it's something shocking. It's the same guy.
Oh, what?
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No worries. Let's do the alternate options first, Zach. We'll get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll do first impressions. Because what were the other choices that I could have picked?
So, you had a couple of other choices. You had Fatal Beauty, which was a Whoopi Goldberg comedy, so that could have been good. Where she has to go undercover in various costumes. The other one was The Hidden. Carl McLachlan has to stop an alien parasite that is turning people into serial killers.
Yeah, look, I think probably The Hidden would be the other option there, but we kind of know what we're doing next year. We're planning a little bit far ahead, and we're not going to get a chance to do a movie like this for probably over a year. So I was like, I'll go for it.
When you say a movie like this, please elaborate. What do you mean?
I mean a smart movie.
A smart movie.
That uses its brain to produce things that involve you having feelings for a movie.
A movie that is not just a movie, it's also an art piece.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Whereas the movies we might be doing in the future lack such things.
Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying.
They will have CGI though, so that's going to be great.
We'll reveal what we're doing next year, probably next month. But I'm excited. Well, I'm not excited. It'll be interesting.
What do you mean you're planning for next year? I thought you picked them the week before.
What?
Whoa! What? Yeah. But we're not picking the movies. We're just picking the year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We would never pick the movies beforehand. We would never, not ever done that. Not once.
No, we would never be like, hey, Ben, if you were to pick one movie from 1987 to guest on, what would it be? And then you would say, for example, hey, maybe this German film called...
What film are you going to pick in October?
We would never do that.
Well, we don't know. We have no idea. Zero clue.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll go through some first impressions. Well, you should probably start with Ben, I guess, because Ben is the guest.
No, I mean, I want to hear what you have to say first.
Ooh, me or Zach?
Oh, you could go first.
All right. I'll go first. This movie looks incredible. That's the first thing that stood out to me. It looks really good. I love the distinction between black and white and color, depending on which beans you're kind of following, because, of course, there's the baked beans and then the fried variety.
There was no beans in this movie.
And the acting was great. A lot of really good visual storytelling, and the music was really good. It kind of lost me a little bit with the poetic writing.
Oh, really?
There's long sequences where it's like the child was a child or whatever, and it just went on for ages, and the visuals were great and kind of carried me through, but I wasn't really paying too much attention to what was being said. I kind of got the gist of the story and then just carried on from there. There's a lot of the poetic writing that I just kind of lost me and didn't do anything for me, unfortunately, but that's just because it's not my thing, I think. Poetic. Not poems. I like poems, but like the poetic style of writing dialogue just isn't really my thing. But I thought this was quite good. How about you, Zach?
Oh, this movie sucks. What are you talking about? This movie rubbish. Half the time they forgot to put the colour in the scenes. They spoke the wrong language. There weren't any explosions. I don't even know what was happening in this film. No one even died. I don't know why we watched it. No. It was actually quite good. I was surprised. I'm surprised you didn't like the poetry. I liked the poetry part. That was one of the bits I liked. That little poem that they have at the start that sort of comes back. I quite liked it. It was very long. I was half falling asleep. I just kind of sat and absorbed it. But I feel like that's how you're supposed to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Just absorbing it. And I certainly was a bit lost in the first half, but I quite enjoyed the second half once they had established all the sort of characters. And then we follow the main guy. I don't know, does he have a name?
In the credits, he's listed as Damiel, but I don't know if he's ever called that in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think anybody says names, really. But, yeah, following him as he pops into the real world is very, very interesting. I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. I love how they do that as well, with him going from black and white to colour.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah. Thank you for your thoughts. I think it's really great that you both liked it. I was a little bit worried that maybe you would think that it was boring, or that you would think that it was somehow not engaging or something, but I'm really gratified that you both found something in it.
Yeah, it was it was never boring, because I think even when it did lose me a bit with a 5-minute long poem about like whatever, I was still engaged with the visual element and like how it looked and everything. So there was always something going on that I was like, this is really, really well done.
Yeah, it was surprisingly engaging. Like, I was watching a film, you know. I wasn't distracted or anything, you know. But it was very long, I have to say.
Well,
I mean, it's not actually that long. It's just over 2 hours, which I feel like that's 2.5. I would say is verging on long.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, 2 hours is a fair time. It's very slow paced, I'll say. Then.
It's very deliberate. Yeah. Meditative. I love this film. As we mentioned before, it's one of my favorites of all time. Yeah, it's as Sandra mentioned, it's an incredible film to look at. It's shot really, really well. I mean, I've never been to Berlin, and so it's really kind of fascinating to see Berlin through a lens like this. Especially, I think it's significant to note that this film was made right like a couple of years before the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this film was made right before the Berlin Wall came down. So the Berlin Wall's still there, and it really kind of captures an essence of, I don't know, the last years of an era.
Yeah.
I love the poetry of it as well. I found myself drawn in from pretty much the beginning. I read that when they were editing the film, and this was, I think, a decision made in editing, they believed that so much, particularly the way that the film was shot, made it have a quality of being so much like a silent film. Particularly, the way the angels in the film are presences that don't really interact with the humans. So much of it becomes this silent film kind of quality that they decided to put a lot of the writing through voiceovers. And that I think gives it this ethereal quality that you're seeing so much tangible stuff in the city, but the words and the thoughts become outside of it almost.
Yeah.
I think Wender's work, I've seen quite a lot of his films now, and there's such a real love for humanity and a real kind of earnestness and kind of like earnest vulnerability about his work that I really engage with and connect to. And I think this is maybe one of the best examples of that quality. The actors are all really, they bring this to life. I find it lovely that Peter Falk is in it as himself.
As himself, that was really good.
Yeah, that took me aback. I was like, oh, hey, look at that. That's kind of funny.
I like, we'll probably touch on this later when we kind of go through the film in a bit more detail, but yeah, the fact that he's portrayed as this former angel himself, I think was really, really touching.
It's good.
Yeah, that was funny. I love that. That was like, oh, I did not expect this at all.
Yeah, especially seeing as like we did a movie with him literally 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
The Princess Bride. And now we're like, here he is again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, that kind of fits, doesn't it? Because he's the, the grandfather. He narrates the entire story. He tells the story of the film. In here, it's almost like the same thing. He plays the heart, in a way, of the film. He's the one who kind of finally drives this decision in the character that
it's good.
Yeah, we'll probably touch on later on. I find the general idea of what angels do in this was really thought-provoking.
Yeah, that was very cool.
It's interesting because it's not tied to any religion. Usually when you get, like an angel-related story, nowadays it's usually like some sort of like YA thing, and it's usually tied to a direct religion. And this, they don't even mention any form of a god or anything.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that they existed before humans.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it is this kind of real spiritual experience without making some kind of overt religious statement, which I also found really powerful. So yeah, this film really gets me.
Yeah, I did like the angels. I thought they were a very cool sort of concept. I like how a lot of them just congregated at the library.
Yeah, that was good.
That's where they just hanged out. I thought that was great.
It's one of the best looking libraries I've ever seen as well.
Yeah, that's I think the Berlin State Library or something like that. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that most of the Angels' activity is like going around and writing down moments from humanity. Is this beautiful almost irony that they don't experience it themselves, which is part of what the film kind of goes through, but they don't experience, they just observe. But that observation gives them fulfillment.
I like how they're like enthusiastically trading stories about, this guy tripped over and broke his nose, you know, or this just experiences.
Yeah. But positive, negative, just human experiences. Totally.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad or whatever. They're just experiences.
And that's like all of that is what it means to be human.
Yeah.
The only thing I thought was missing was maybe a darker side of humanity. Obviously, we had that guy who jumped.
Well, look, yes, but also I would put forward that this film is set in the city of Berlin against the backdrop of Nazism.
Yeah, that's true.
The entire history of the Second World War is infiltrating every frame, I think. The fact that Peter Falk is there to film something about, the Nazi era, the fact that we are against the backdrop of the Berlin Wall, against all of these ruins. There's a sequence in the film where this old man goes and he's searching for this.
Oh, yeah.
This neighborhood, it was like once one of the main neighborhoods. Like imagine going around, and trying to like go to the. I don't even know what the Melbourne equivalent. I don't know, Times Square. Like imagine trying to go to Times Square and it's rubble. I feel like there's so much history and so much of the tragedy of humanity dripping from that film that I think that's what makes the kind of the love and the positive experiences so much more meaningful in that film.
I guess it's more that the angels themselves aren't exactly reacting to it. We only see him. I mean, I liked the scene where he reacted to the guy jumping.
Yeah.
Because he lets out a no, like he's actually upset that this guy, jumped. Because we don't see him react to almost anything else, I think, in the entire film, this one.
No,
Angel.
not until he becomes human.
Yeah. Like, because otherwise they're just standing there silently observing, but it lets out a guttural,
Oh, I'm sure in the American remake, there's like an evil dark angel who's like, if you turn, I'm gonna hunt you, and then Nicolas Cage turns human, and then this guy's like hunting him all over the city or something. I'm sure that's in the remake.
That's that. Now that is a real such duality.
Oh, so meaningful.
I quite like the, I don't know, universe is the right word, but concept of this movie, and I'd like to see it explored, but I don't know if the Nick Cage movie is the way
Well, there is a sequel.
There's a sequel, I was going to say, yeah.
Which we'll probably talk about at the very end, because I haven't seen it, and I want to know what it is.
Yeah, I have seen it. Surprisingly incredible as well. I was so cautious going in. I was like, how do you follow up something as brilliant as this? Turns out you can.
Let's quickly go through some details, then we'll go through some more plot stuff as well. But this was released on the 29th of October in 1987. That was when it got its wide cinematic release. It did premiere in May at the Cannes Film Festival, though, and it won Best Director. That director being, is it Wim Wenders?
Yeah, Wim Wenders.
Who also wrote and produced the film. He's done heaps of stuff, some docos. One of my favorite movies from 1984 that we didn't cover was Paris, Texas. He did that as well. Yeah. That was incredible. I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, he did a couple of films in between, but a couple of documentaries in between that and this. But Paris, Texas was his fiction feature that he did before Wings of Desire.
And he did co-wrote the film with Peter Handke, who has done heaps of like poems and screenplays and stage stuff.
He's a famous German novelist who I think there's some controversy around him, but he's pretty prolific.
But for the cast, we do have Bruno Ganz as the angel. Damiel, he's in the 70s remake of Nosferatu. I think he plays Jonathan Harker in that. He played Hitler in the film Downfall.
Oh yeah, that's where most people will know him from the meme. Yeah.
Much like the entire cast of this, he worked pretty much all his life in film. I think he did 60 years of film. He died in 2019. So yeah, he was around for ages.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he died pretty recently. He I think one of his last films was the Terrence Malick film about the war. Before that, he was in one of Sally Potter's most recent films. He was in Lars von Trier's The House that Jack Built.
Yeah, he was very good when he became a human and was like pointing out colors. It's like, oh, what's that one? What's that color?
It's such a wonderful, because it's like, I mean, yeah, we'll get to it, but it's like he's reborn. He's a child. You know, he needs to know everything about the world like a child would.
I loved his outfit. It was very Doctor-esque. I was like, this guy would be a great doctor in this outfit, you know?
The human version of him.
Yeah.
The suit that he wears.
Surprisingly enough, none of the main cast members are alive today.
Oh, really?
Which is quite sad. They've all passed away. But the other angel, Cassiel, is played by Otto Sander, who I know from Das Boot. He's in the 2000s Les Mis miniseries and also the Troma movie Killer Condom.
Yeah.
One of his more finer works. Yeah, he's good. I like when he was observing the actor who was once a human.
Oh, yes.
Peter Falk.
It's once an angel, I should say, yeah. When he's observing him, how he's different, he's a bit more standoff, and he like observes that this guy is trying to convince angels to, you know, become human and feel experiences. That was rather interesting.
Yeah, well, in the sequel follows him deciding to become human.
Ah.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Speaking of Peter Falk, he is in this. He plays himself. He's, of course, the title character in the classic crime show Columbo, which surprisingly holds up. I've seen a few episodes, and I'm like, this is still really good. It's a good show.
Yeah.
He's in The Great Race. He's in Murder, Inc., Princess Bride. He's great in this. He's so much fun.
What a voice. I was very taken aback when his voiceover first happened, because we went from a poetic German to his...
Still like a noir movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, where am I? What's happening? It was crazy. No, but it's good.
Playing the love interest and trapeze artist Marion is Solveig Domaden. This is her first movie. She did go on to be in the sequel. She co-wrote and starred in another sci-fi that Wim Wenders did as well in the 90s called Until the End of the World.
Oh yeah, that's a incredible, like, if that's a long film. I think that film goes for 4.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Wowie.
But it's astounding. That's maybe my second favorite of Wim Wenders' films after this one. And a lot of it is shot in Australia. Like, it takes place in Australia. Sam Neill's in it.
Wow, there's several different versions ranging from 158 to 287 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was recently got a full restoration and director's cut. Could spend hours on that film, literally.
I could spend 4.
It's incredible, yeah.
And then finally, legendary German actor Kurt Boyce is in this as the old man poet Homer. He's, of course, in Casablanca. He's in Court. He did some Broadway. He was acting for 82 something years. He started working in 1907 and then acted right up until 89. So he acted through many big world events.
Which makes his presence in this so significant, I suppose, as the character that he does portray.
I like, as you mentioned earlier, when he's sitting in a couch in a field where it's just empty wilderness. But you can see in his mind's eye what it once was. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
So it has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which means one critic gave it a negative score, I guess. The audience score is 93%, 8 out of 10 on IMDb, average rating of 4.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd as well. It's on a bunch of best films of the 1980s lists. It's considered one of the best German films of all time, one of the best poetic movies of all time. It cost 5 million DM, which is roughly under 3 million US in today's money. I'm not sure how much that would have been back then. We could guess how much it made if you want to.
Yeah, I'm interested, but I have literally no idea how well this does, because obviously it's a great film, but did it distribute well? Did people go out and see it? I'm going to go 8.5.
8.5.
I have no idea. I'm terrible with budgets. I don't know. Did it make double? Let's say double.
Well, it made somewhere in between 3.2 and 4 million,
Ah,
which
there you go.
is still pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care.
No, it doesn't matter. for
Look
this
at
film.
its legacy. You know, how do you quantify its legacy? How do you quantify its impact?
Well, that's the thing. I would hope that it would do well.
Yeah.
There is one tagline. According to IMDb, it is, "There are angels on the streets of Berlin." That's the tagline, which is just kind of the premise, so, you know.
Yeah.
Sounds like a David Bowie song.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a good point. We're not going to spend too much time on the synopsis itself. We're just going to kind of talk about the various plot points and characters that go on throughout this. As mentioned, the first kind of hour of the film is just the angels watching, observing various people around the city. Was there any standout moments in this sequence for you, Zach?
Yeah. My favorite moments were the angels when they were confronting people with grief. As I mentioned earlier, the guy jumping and the angel's reaction to that. But also, the angel confronting the guy who had an accident, who was dying. I thought that was well done, where the angel just sort of comforts the dying man by allowing him to... was it sing poetry, or just sort of like calm his mind as he's passing away? And the sort of the satisfaction the angel, once he was comforted, just moving on, you know? There's other people out there, but I've helped this one, comforting him as he passes. I thought that was quite good. I like that.
Well, I liked the moments when they sort of touched people. They sort of made their presence felt in a way. I really like the library sequences. Like, there's the sense of space in that location makes itself felt.
Yeah, the filming in those scenes is very well done.
Yeah, just the idea of a library, and such a big library and what it represents, I suppose, and that it has this quite like place for reflection and creation and knowledge and things like that.
But also different people. Because
Exactly.
you've got the whole spectrum, because we have the kids, they're studying for their tests or whatever. And I like can the kids see the angels? Or do they...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hinted at that they can.
Yeah, which is quite funny, you know? That, you know, these kids can just pop up and they're like, oh, there's an angel there. Anyway, back to doing my schoolwork, you know?
Which I think, that really sort of touches upon something quite magical, I guess, about the state of childhood, that you are so much more open to these experiences. And particularly then that being mirrored, as we kind of touched on earlier, when the angel chooses to be human and awakens in the human world and becomes so enamored with the world around him in this kind of childlike way. So it really, definitely makes sense that the angels, that children can see angels.
Yeah, the library stuff, kind of circling back to that as well. There was one moment, I think it was this like 3-minute long sequence where this quite angelic, not menacing, but it had some dark undertones, this soundtrack kind of plays, and that was amazing. And then that kind of comes in as well with this incredible shot of the two angels are standing on like different levels in the library. One's kind of at this point in the staircase looking over the other, and that shot was just amazing.
Yeah, I liked the close-up to panning shots they did in there. I don't know how they filmed it, probably, you know, with a crane and other things, but it was really well done. It was the last shot of the library where the library's closed and you've just got the cleaning lady in there, but all these angels are still sort of there, you know, resting, waiting for people to return, and it just sort of pans through them normally like it normally does, but then it starts to zoom out and you just see this large, open, empty library. I thought it was good.
Yeah, that was good. And there's one other moment that I did want to bring up in the first half of the film on the train, where there is a guy who's having quite dark thoughts.
Yeah.
And then the angel comes and like sits next to him and reassures him, and then like his thoughts get more positive. That was a great sequence.
Well, I like how it works. They're not like changing their mind. They're just sort of persuading them to look at it from a different sort of perspective, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know, I can change my life around, you know? I might be in a bad spot now, but I can do this. Like, they don't force people. Because if they did, he might have stopped that guy from jumping, you know?
They can't change anything, I suppose.
Yeah, they can't change anything, but they can try and help a little bit.
That scene where the guy jumps, because you're not really sure what's happening. You can hear his thoughts, and he's like, red socks and black shoes, I'm going to look like an idiot or something like that. And then he just jumps off this massive building, which was quite a shocking sequence, quite well done.
I think because it was so shocking, it really stood out with me. That's why I brought it up. It was just one of those ones that I went to bed thinking about, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's quite significant that they included something like that.
Yeah.
I like the when he's in the circus, one of the guys says, "Oh, an angel's passing by," and he's like, "Huh? What?"
I read that as well. That was the only quote I really wrote down. Yeah, because the trapeze artist is walking past and she's dressed up as an angel, and one of the guys is like, "An angel walks past," and Damiel is like, "What? Hang on, what's happening here?"
No. I'm visible. Oh, wait. They're talking about...
That was very good.
Cheeky little bit of humor.
Yeah, which, it's beautiful imagery that she's dressed as an angel and becomes almost like his like angelic presence.
After he sees her at the circus, he starts like watching her more closely and stuff. And there is some stuff in there where like he's in the room and she's getting undressed, and you're like, this creepy angel pervert on everyone. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, he's not human at that point. So
it's interesting that they chose there to be one kind of love interest that that like is a big factor in him becoming human. It's not just like humanity as a whole. They take that and then they put it in the form of one person.
Yeah. I feel like that's like what maybe sparks this interest in him. But I would still say that he has these, desires to become human through all of the other little things that he's observed. And in that conversation with Peter Falk just before the transformation, when Peter Falk kind of is like, what about drinking a cup of coffee and rubbing your hands together and making a drawing? And it's like, there's these are the things finally that kind of push him over the edge. It's these little moments. And then, when he is a human and he's exploring the world around him and finding out all of this stuff, it's like, I feel like that's all of these things, all of the things combined. But you're right. The love interest is the main one, probably.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what this film is, trying to say, that love is the most important emotion. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me how that sort of works, because they talk about how they were there before any of it.
Sure.
Before any of this existed. So they've been around like millions of years, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So they've been around a long time, right? So this guy deciding to be human now all of a sudden, is... I guess it's not all of a sudden, but, it's very... I don't know if important's the right word.
Significant,
yeah. Because if he's been around so long, like, going from that to a mortal being... Now, I don't know, and these are the things that get me curious about universes like that, because I'm a big fan of the universe behind the story. It's like, what are these angelic beings? Do they actually have some sort of purpose for collecting all these things? One of the questions I have is, if they turn into a human, do they just die?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess they would.
Yeah.
They do. They can't go back. That's what makes part of it like such a big decision.
But what happens if they run out of angels? If like all the angels are now humans, what happens then?
Yeah, do they make more angels? Do they make new angels?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the things, the questions we don't know. It's like, how many angels are there, What are the angels? You know, can they make more angels?
But I think that's what makes it so fascinating to think about from a human standpoint, as we don't know where how many, like, you know, if we were to transpose this to real life, you know, we don't know how many angels, you know. Maybe there are little, you know, soon to be Peter Falks wandering around the
I hope you're enjoying the podcast, angels. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're listening out there. You
Write
know?
down your favorite quote in your little notebook.
Yeah. I think it was interesting, out of the blue, the sort of like acknowledging that the angel's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Falk does that. Yeah, that was great.
I like that he repeats it.
Yeah.
That this is like a spiel that he does to all the angels.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, is he a con man? You know, is he trying to con the angels in? I'm not.
Yeah.
It was very funny to me.
that reveal as well, because the story behind Peter Falk is he's in Berlin to film a World War II movie, and he's there on set. He convinces the angels to turn human, and then it's revealed once our main character is human. He's like, how did you know I was there, Peter Falk? And Peter Falk's like, well, because I'm an angel as well. That was a great reveal, and I love the idea that an actor playing himself is like, he's also an angel now.
Yeah, it further kind of creates that ambiguous space between fiction and reality, and yeah, it's a great choice.
I thought it was very clever because early on we see him sketching stagehands.
Yeah, and extras and stuff, yeah.
Yes.
And, like, he's obsessed about his hat.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
And so he's this unusual character, but you don't fully understand why till later. It's because he was an angel and he's obsessed about these small details and other things and people.
Absolutely.
It's so funny because he's also very sassy, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, what a great nostril. Oh, this hat sucks, you know? It's like, he doesn't sound like the other angels, you
What's
know?
the moment when this kid comes up and tries to, like, pitch a movie to him about how there's, like, 2 Hitlers or something, and he's like, that seems a bit far-fetched, kid.
Angels.
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite angel, or ex-angel.
There's some good stuff with the trapeze artist as well, circling back to her. Is it once he becomes human? I think it's actually just before he becomes human, we see her whole trapeze act, and wow, it's good.
Yeah, it's before that. I think it's when he leads his compatriot angel to the circus. Quite significantly, you know, the circus is shutting down, and you know that's one of the sort of narrative points, is that the circus is shutting down, and it's almost like this, well, everyone in the circus, but the trapeze artist then has to kind of reckon with getting back out into the real world after spending so long as an angel flying around the air of the tent. You know, I think that's a really beautiful parallel.
I like the circus, the dynamic she has with the other circus performers, that sort of like family sort of thing, because they've been doing it for years, but then they all go off on their own different directions as, you know, the circus breaks up.
So he becomes human. I like how he's woken up by his metal chest plate falling on him, his angel chest plate or whatever. It falls on him and wakes him up.
Yeah, wait, so was that his chest plate?
Yeah, that was his armor. It, like, sort of in the way that you know, those shots of the angel sitting on the big statue.
Yeah.
Of the angel. That is their garb.
Yeah, they have, we can see in those scenes they have wings, but the wings fade as you get closer to them, sort of thing. Which makes me enjoy that scene where they talk about the armor and how he got ripped off when he sold his armor.
Yeah, he goes to... It's one of the first things he does.
Yeah.
He goes to sell his armor at a pawn shop to get, like, his 7th Doctor outfit.
Yeah.
And then he shows up and talks to Peter Falk. And Peter Falk's like, yeah, you kind of got ripped off on that one.
But that happens. You know, you'll get ripped off. But that's very funny. That these angels are like, well, I'm human now. Guess I don't need this armor. Hey, human, you want this whole armor? That's very funny.
He has his first coffee. That was a great moment. He learns out all the colors. He asks this guy on the street, hey, what color is this?
What a cool dude. Can we give a shout out to that guy who was just like, yeah, I'm going to stand here and tell this random dude with blood pouring out his head the colours of this wall?
Yeah.
They give him some money for some coffee. What a guy. What a fella.
And the movie all wraps up after the final show at the circus. They go to a Nick Cave concert, and the Angel and Marion, they've kind of like missed each other at heaps of opportunities, and finally at this concert of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, they are able to finally meet at the bar.
Well, it's a one-sided conversation because she sort of talks with him.
Yeah, that lost me a little bit. I liked a lot of it, and then some of it was a bit too cryptic, maybe? I don't know. It lost me a little bit, but that's just me, I think.
I thought it was really lovely. I mean, that's, the culmination of the film. It's these two beings drawn towards each other by some extra real source. It's poetry. It's poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. But I wanted to touch on because that is the ending, but then there's the ending after the ending, which is that it shows a little bit of their life afterwards, and that he's helping her with the trapeze, exercises, and I thought that was really sweet.
I liked that.
Yeah, that was great.
The visual as well of the angel watching them, and he's in black and white, but the rest of the frame is all in color. That was that was a great image.
Oh, yeah, that was very well done. Yeah, that's sort of like half, like he's in black and white, but it's very interesting.
And then the movie ends with a little bit more of the old man poet, who we haven't really talked too much about. He's just kind of a presence in the movie. He doesn't really have a story, but all his stuff was great. All his stuff was excellent.
Yeah, and the fact that his name was Homer.
Classic.
Yeah, classic poet name.
Yeah.
Which, I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Nice detail.
And then it ends with To Be Continued. I wonder if the To Be Continued was an artistic choice or if the sequel was already planned. Because I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I interpreted it as an artistic choice, but I didn't know there was a sequel, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, that is Wings of Desire. I don't think we should rate this an oldie or a goodie. I think...
What? But this is Ben's favourite part of the show. Ben loves the binary rating system of, is it the worst movie of all time or is it the best movie of all time? Don't you, Ben? You love that.
Yeah, I love that dichotomy so much. That's my favorite part. This is why I come back to this podcast.
Yeah, it's the rating system.
That's the whole reason you came here, was because of the binary rating system.
That's absolutely right. I think it's an oldie and a goodie.
Oh, there we go.
Because I don't think that the word oldie has the connotations that your podcast title gives
No,
it.
but the saying is oldie but a goodie, and it's our gimmick. So
Yes, it's a gimmick.
Anyway, I think it's a goodie. I think it's a greatie even.
Yeah. I'll give it good. It was a fun watch. Look, I think it's an oldie but a goodie, just as Ben said. But that's the whole point of this show, is to find movies like this.
Yes.
That are both good and old.
I'm going to give it a metaphorical wooden chest plate falling from the heavens. That's my rating.
I'll take a bludgeoning by your own armor for 200.
Well, let's talk about some sequels. In 1993, there's the release of Far Away, So Close, which is the direct sequel. Everyone's back, but it does mainly focus on that second angel guy. Willem Dafoe's in it, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It won the Grand Jury Prize at Cannes. There's some crime stuff in it, apparently. What is the general plot of that sequel, Ben?
Yeah.
Look, I think it does become a lot more reality focused. It quite significantly, it's set after the fall of the Berlin Wall. And so I think it's an interesting, again, just juxtaposition of the two films, where the first one happened just before and this one happens sort of just a few years after. So he becomes human because he sees this child accidentally fall off a ledge or a balcony, and he's overcome by this desire to save her. And so he turns human so that he can save her. There's some gangsters or smugglers or like arms dealers or something that he is trying to track down and prevent. He becomes an alcoholic.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's interesting because this, like, you know, you were saying, Zach, that the first film doesn't really follow the kind of darker sides of humanity. This has him having so many of these low point experiences.
That sounds like exactly the sort of sequel I'd be looking for in this sort of movie. So there you go.
Yeah, it's got some pretty good ratings.
It's surprisingly really I thought that it would be trash.
Money grabbing.
Not money grabbing, but it could never live up to the original. And I don't think it does entirely, but I think it is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also does answer some questions about whether you can go back or not
Okay.
to being an angel. I don't think it was hugely well received, but I was surprised by how successful it was at being a sequel, I suppose. And being I think it's a really good film. Yeah.
What probably isn't a good film is 1998's City of Angels, the American remake.
Oh, no.
Which strips it right back. This is just a regular rom drama where Nicolas Cage is an angel and Meg Ryan is a doctor or something, and they fall in love, and honestly, who cares? It is Nicolas Cage, though, so part of me is like, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm an angel. I'm here. I used to be an angel, and now I love you.
Wow. Did we just get Nick Cage on the podcast all of a sudden? Where did he come from? That's crazy.
The sky. I came from heaven. I'm an angel. What? Don't you understand?
That was fantastic. No, that's how I feel like I've already watched the movie already, and therefore don't need to watch it, so I won't.
Yeah, I watched the trailer just before we started recording, and no.
Yeah, it looks like it's missing the whole point and turning it into a big like love story romance thing. It looks like it misses the point.
Great. Next segment.
It is time for raving reviews. It's the part of the show where I go to the one place with good reviews, Rotten Tomatoes, to the only people that matter, the audience, not the critics, because the critics are wrong, and I get what they felt. Their feelings. I observe. We are like angels, observing the masses and their emotions. Of the streets of Rotten Tomatoes and their feelings. Not all of them are good, not all of them are bad, but I can guarantee that they are mostly wrong.
But it's got like 92%, so surely...
Surely there wouldn't just be people who missed the whole point.
Here we
That
go.
would never happen in the audience score. This time I'm breaking the rules, though.
Oh, no.
And I've grabbed one review from the critics.
Oh, no.
So there we go.
Oh, no.
Because there's two of you, you guys are going to be guessing the score. Whoever gets the most points wins. It's easy. Anyway, Ben, you've played this game before, right?
I have.
So you know all the rules and you don't need an explanation.
Well, maybe just a refresher. For example, are we going on who's closest, or are we going on you get a point only if you get it right?
I'll allow you to decide. What do you want?
Let's do closest.
Oh, closest. Because we normally don't do closest. So I like closest, though. Closest is fun. So, the first review, obviously a critic review. So it must be incorrect. From Janet Maslin from the New York Times.
Classic Janet Maslin.
She says, original at first, Wings of Desire is, in the end, damagingly overrated.
Whoa.
Damagingly.
Oh, sorry, not overrated, overloaded.
Overloaded.
How is that a bad thing? It's got too many things to think about. That's not a good enough criticism unless you're talking about a Spider-Man movie with 5 villains. Then that's overloaded.
I don't know. This is a critic. Critics know what they're talking about, so I'm told. And they're from the New York Times. They can't be wrong.
Well, hang on. If it's a critic review, it's not out of 5, is it? It's a...
We do have an out of 5. We do have an out of 5.
There is an out of 5. Okay, because I thought it was just like rotten or fresh.
Yeah, that's usually how they're divided, but I think they have a separate score that they can also give it.
Okay.
I think this person rated it out of 5 at 2.5.
I am going to go for a 2 out of 5.
Well, Ben is the closest because it's a 2.5.
Whoa.
Not the closest, more like
Exact.
he guessed it correctly.
Exactly, yes. So there you go. That's your one critic. I'm never doing a critic score again because that one sucked. Instead, we go back to observing the people in their natural environment, such as Matty, who says, over 26 years later, this film is still magical and beautiful, human, brilliant, a must-see.
I'm going to guess 4.5 out of 5.
I think 5 out of 5. I think that review screams 5 out of 5.
Well, you were right. It is 5 out of 5.
Yeah, yes.
Aha! So Haytham says, this movie is my candidate for the most boring movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, 5 out of 5. No, I think I'm going to go 1 out of 5. Although it's probably 0.5, but I think I'm going to go 1.
You got to go 1?
I think
Okay.
it's a mistake for you to do that, Ben, because I'm going to go 0.5, and that's the lowest
You're going
rating.
to go 0.5, which
Yeah.
is the lowest you can go, and is correct, because it's
Yeah.
0.5. Yeah.
I was thinking it was that.
Yeah, you're trying to bring the best out in Haytham,
Yeah.
you know? You were trying to help him out. But unfortunately, you can't go pat them on the back and influence them to be not bad at reviewing. Brendan says, a great achievement, yet still a snooze.
Oh.
Divisive. The duality of film watchers.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess maybe 3. I'll go 3.
I was going to say 3 as well. Can I say 3? Can I say the same score?
Oh, you absolutely can. There's no rules against it.
Okay, I'm going to say 3.
But by doing so and going by the closest rule, you would both guaranteed get a point.
That's...
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go 3.
You gotta go 3? Well, you're both the closest. Fun fact. But it's 2 out of 5. It's 2 out of 5.
Oh, wow. We're both close.
Yeah, that's all right. We've still got a point, yeah.
Maybe you'll understand Caesar, who says, couldn't stand it at all. Black and white, French and German, poetry fucking dairy piece of artsy-fartsy bullshit.
Wow.
Fuck this movie and everybody that thinks it's so awesome.
Wow. Okay, Caesar.
This is a South Park character. This is not a human being.
No wonder they stabbed you in the Senate.
Oh, got him.
I think this guy gave it a half.
Yeah, half a star?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. If I also go half a star, we're both guaranteed a point. So I'm going half a star.
Yeah.
There's no way that it's not half a star. So.
Oh, unless this is a double bluff and he was being... And this guy was being like... writing a parody review.
That is true. But it was 0.5 out of 5, very clearly. I don't think he liked the film very much.
What gives you that idea?
Tim says, The Divine Meditation.
Oh,
yeah.
that's it?
Okay.
I'll go 4 out of 5.
I was going to go 4 out of 5.
Well, you're allowed to go 4 out of 5. In fact, it's actually optimal at this point because if you just tie with Sandro for the rest of the game, you will win.
Okay, all right. 4 out of 5.
It's 5 out of 5. You both get a point.
Yay, we're close. To those playing along at home, Ben's on 5 points and I'm on 4 points.
Whoa, it's a close one, and we're at the final review, so you know what that means.
Double points, which will change nothing if we keep doing the tactic.
Yeah, no, but Ben has to guess first this time.
Yeah, so Sandro can choose not to, so that there is a chance that he wins, because if he guesses the same as me, then he loses.
Yarissa, who says, hard to rate. Story starts in the last 40 minutes. Didn't really understand what this movie was about. So perhaps a bit too deep for Yarissa.
Too deep 5 me. Yeah.
I'm going to go 2.5.
This is hard. I think I'll go 3. I'll go 3. But Ben might have this. I'm not sure. I'll go 3.
You could choose what Ben
No,
chose.
no.
But then if he does that, he loses.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is at least giving him a little chance of winning.
A little, but a little too late, as it is 2.5.
And Ben takes it with 7 points because that was his double.
That was double points.
I just felt an angel putting its hand on my shoulder and say 2.5. 2.5! They said 2.5!
Thanks, Nick Cage. Congratulations, Ben. I think it was on brand for you to win this episode.
Absolutely.
Even though I think you've won every other time you've been on. Anyway, that's the episode. I do want to wrap it up very quickly with a review I found on Letterboxd
Yes.
by Zara. Imagine being such a simp you give up immortality. SMH. Great review.
Yeah. Well, that is the central conceit of the film. You're right.
That's the whole episode. Ben, thank you for coming on once again. Do you have anything to plug? Any socials? Any of the stuffs?
Yeah, just the usual stuff, social media accounts, facebook.com/Ben Volchok, Instagram, Ben Volchok, Twitter, Somgmouse. I'm on TikTok, as Zach mentioned.
I love his TikTok. It's the best.
Yeah, just follow on my social media stuff. See if I have anything coming up anytime soon.
And if you like this show, you can follow us on all the stuffs and things as well. We aren't on TikTok, but maybe next year, who knows? I just can't be bothered, but...
I might get more into TikTok. I've been having fun with it recently. Actually, over just the past week, because I remembered you had a TikTok, Ben. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll check out the TikTok. It's a good time. It's a fun one.
You can help us out by leaving a review on iTunes. That helps get the show out in front of new people. You can tell a friend. And if you want more content, Patreon. Upwards of 2 bonus episodes a month for $5 a month. That helps to keep the lights on in our multiple studios because we record from our houses.
Yes. If you're looking at this movie and go, hey, this movie looks too good, don't worry. We have terrible ones coming up on the Patreon.
Coming out on Wednesday. You voted for it. Star Slammer. I'm honestly worried to watch it, but we're doing it.
Yeah.
Check that out. The link is in the episode description. Plus, our whole series on the Evil Dead is up there now as well, if you want some good stuff.
So what are you watching next week?
Well, that is the question. Zach does have to pick. But here's the thing, Ben. Here's the thing. My voice is a bit sore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Do you want to read out the options, Ben?
Oh, my.
Sure.
Oh, my.
So, we've just been sent the options that you're going to be picking out of.
Oh, wow.
Cry Freedom, which is a biopic about South African anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko.
Oh, yeah?
We have Death Wish 4, The Crackdown.
Oh, no.
Weirdly enough, also a biopic about South African anti-apartheid.
Oh, wow.
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
The Death Wish series, Charles Bronson. Once again, a man has to become a vigilante to fight the drug trade.
Not drugs.
And then there's Hello Again.
Hello.
In which a plastic surgeon's wife chokes to death, and a year later her occultist sister brings her back.
Oh, I was not expecting that. Yep.
We have Hiding Out. Witness disguises himself as a high school student to avoid being killed by the mob.
Oh.
Okay.
What are the movie options this week?
What the?
Jesus.
There's a lot of these.
Oh, my.
Less Than Zero. The 3 rich teen friends, one played by Robert Downey Jr., struggled with drugs, which is a Bret Easton Ellis adaptation. Mm-hmm. Made in Heaven, 2 souls who cross paths in heaven and then attempt to reconnect once they are reborn on Earth. Sounds a lot like this film.
Yeah.
Gross. Angels, I hate those in movies.
Hey.
We have Morning Patrol, which I've been meaning to watch for a while, actually, by Nikos Nikolaidis, Greek sci-fi art film about a woman trying to cross a city's forbidden zone.
That does look quite good, actually. Yes.
This director is like one of the kind of like unsung cult heroes. All of his films are meant to be incredible and strange and astounding, but no one's seen them.
Right.
Anyway, next up we have Ruskies. 3 patriotic adolescents confront their worst fear when they find a shipwrecked Russian sailor on a Florida beach.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, a Russian sailor!
Yeah. And the final of your choices is Steel Dawn. A post-World War III swordsman defends a desert widow and her water treatment farm. It's basically a Mad Max clone, according to this commentary.
What?
So this is like 10 films that you're choosing from. That's a lot. I would choose Morning Patrol, but you're not going to. I have a feeling.
What? Look, Morning Patrol looks good. That sounds great.
All right, so I'm guessing that's a no.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to break it to you slowly. All right? I'm trying to be considerate of your feelings. I feel like that's a great movie, but I'm more tempted by either Death Wish 4, The Crackdown.
Why?
Oh, I get it. Crackdown, because it's the drug track. Okay, keep going.
But also, Steel Dawn
No.
sounds incredible.
Oh, no.
Because post-World War III swordsman, question mark, Desert Widow.
It does sound a lot like The Warrior and the Sorceress, which is one of our most popular episodes.
So I think I'm going to pick Steel Dawn.
Whoa.
Only solely on the fact that I don't want to watch Death Wish 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Death Wish 1, I would still watch.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Jeff Goldblum's debut role.
You see, the thing is, one day I might watch Death Wish. Just out of wishing to watch it. But Steel Dawn, I would never unless I was doing this podcast. So I'm going to do that one.
Well, next week, right back into the trash.
Yeah, where we belong.
And I have a feeling that we're going to be doing trash for the rest of the year. So I hope you enjoyed this good movie while we had it.
Yay!
My pleasure. You're welcome.
You could say, Ben, that you were an angel coming to us and influencing us towards a brighter future.
Yeah.
And then we immediately ignored you and are going to do Steel Dawn next week.
Love it. All right, we'll wrap it up with the best quote from Wings of Desire. Wine is a moment, I think it's right when the trapeze artist, she's quite sad that the circus is shutting down. But she has this one line where she's like, I have a story and I'll go on having one. I thought that was just a nice line of dialogue, a nice sentiment, a nice quote. That's my favorite. How about you, Zach?
My favorite is when he's drawing the extra, and he talks about funny things like, "Oh, that's a nice nostril" and everything. But my favorite line there is, "This drawing stinks." It's like, this drawing sucks.
That's good. And Ben?
To be continued.
Oh.
Does that mean that we're doing the sequel at some point?
Ooh, special bonus episode.
Or is it just an artistic choice?
Is it an artistic choice?